Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear sister. If you have any confession that you want to share with us, if you cannot use the email, you can just contact me on WhatsApp. And if I take too long to respond, please keep on texting me until I share your confession. So the message that was sent to me by one of our admin, it reads like this. Hello, how are you? Can you please post my own story? Is anonymous. So this is my own confession about this man that I met, that I'm dating, and very soon he'll be the father of my second child. I met Blessing, not his real name, on a dating platform little over 3 years ago. It is funny. I never thought that I would fall pregnant again for him. Not because I don't love him. I do love him, but financially he's not in a good position for us to have another child. Yet I have another child as well. So I was never the one for these apps. But after months of being convinced by my friends, I finally gave in, and one of my friends said, "You won't meet anyone if you stay locked up in your bubble." So there I was, swiping through endless profiles until his picture came up. There was something about his smile that felt warm, familiar, even though he was a total stranger. Blessing is from Zim, and he is working as a Bolt driver here in Johannesburg. He owns his own car, so he seemed sweet, hardworking, and genuinely interested in getting to know me. The first few weeks after we matched, and we saw that indeed it felt as if we were meant for each other. We kept on talking, long conversation, naughty video calls, and endless text messages. We were so easy to talk to, so kind, and he always knew the right things to say to make me feel special. It was not long before we met in person. Sparks flew from the moment we locked eyes. He was not the most well-off guy, but he made me feel like the most important woman in the world. Fast forward to today, after I had given him our first child, all of a sudden I found out that I am pregnant with his child again, and that was when things started taking a very dark turn. In the beginning, he said that maybe it is because we love each other a lot and we are always making love. Maybe that is the reason as to why I quickly fell pregnant. And in the beginning, it felt perfect. We spent weeks together, talked about building a life, and even started looking for a small place where we could move in once our second baby is born. But the conversation started shifting when Blessing opened up about something that I never expected. His work permit, it expires next year. So he was like, "I'm very terrified. I do not want to leave you to suffer with my kids." And he says life is very difficult. And he says he knows how difficult it is for Zimbabweans to renew permits in my country, especially with the new regulations. We talked about him possibly going back home, but he said that going back home, it will be very difficult. How are we going to manage to keep on dating? And I also want him to be there around, since he's a very nice person. He's like, going back home, it will be a death sentence for our relationship. And he has nothing there. And with the second child on the way, the pressure now is even worse. I am a woman who is unemployed, even though I went to college, but I struggled for years and years trying to get a job, but I can't get like a permanent job. So I need him by my side so that he can assist me to take care of our kids. So one night after dinner, that was when he told me something that I never thought I would hear. And I even saw that there was something that was troubling him until I asked him what was going on, what was he thinking about, thinking that he wanted to leave me. That was when he said, "There is something that I need you to help me with." And he grabbed my hand and he started making me to rub my tummy whilst he was using my hand, and said, "Let us do this. Let us do this for our unborn child, so that our child will never experience poverty, the poverty that I experienced and the poverty that you also experienced." And he was like, I need you to do Ukuthwala for me. I almost laughed at first. Ukuthwala? No, I don't want to do that. Even though I had never been around who have done Ukuthwala, but I just grew up hearing stories about people who do these rituals to make money or to succeed at work, to bewitch other people. But I never thought that it is something that is real, something people actually do. So I was like, what are you talking about? I asked, trying to read his face, but he was really serious. He then explained everything. His father, he said, back in Zim, made a covenant with the ancestors. He gave me like a long history of the family, that there were people that used to do Ukuthwala rituals in the family and people were dying. So his father and then said, enough is enough, since he is the only one that is left in the family. And he then made all of his siblings, including him, to go to a traditional healer where they made a covenant with the ancestors. A very powerful traditional healer helped them, and it was said that in their family's generation, no man or woman can perform Ukuthwala and succeed. In their family, is said, if you try to perform these rituals, it's either you run mad whilst you are still at the traditional healer's shrine. You'll either die or the ritual will backfire, leaving you worse off than where you started. And he said that this is what their father made them to do. So he said that even though he cannot do it himself, there is a loophole. The curse or the covenant only applies to him, but since I am his woman, I can help him. And he was like, you are carrying my child, so please let us try to do things that can help us to secure our future. Otherwise, you are going to lose me. What if I get arrested tomorrow? And this has made me to be very traumatized, and I am pregnant. I do not want him to go back. And even though I could not believe what I was hearing, I asked him, how can he suggest something like that to a pregnant woman? So he told me that we are very desperate. He's scared of what will happen when his permit expires, and he feels like this is the only way out. He said, think about our child. Do you want them to grow up in a world where they will be struggling, or they can grow up in a world where they will be surrounded by riches? So I am torn. I love blessing and I want a stable life for our children. But this, Ukuthwala, it sounds insane. So he explained the details of the rituals. So it's more than just offering some prayers to the ancestors. He says that the ritual will involve chicken blood sacrifices, and in order for the ritual to work, I have to go for about a month or so until my pubic hair is really big. When my pubic hair is really big, if we try to raise enough money, then the man, the Sangoma from his country, will come to our country. Then he is the one who is going to shave me. He's going to shave me, he said, with a shaving stick, and he's going to take the pubic hair. This pubic hair that will be taken, it will be mixed with the chicken that I would have slaughtered. I am the one who is supposed to do everything. He is not supposed to touch anything, otherwise the ritual will not succeed. He said that you will be in the room with the Sangoma and I'll be waiting for you outside. Only after the ritual is done, that is when I can join up with you, and we are going to be given a clay pot where the blood and my pubic hair will be, and we have to constantly put in fresh milk in there. And when the fresh milk is done, he says that we have to sift only the milk so that the pubic hair can remain for as long as possible inside that clay pot for the rest of our lives. This ritual will be performed by a Sangoma that he knows. This man, he said, has helped a lot of men to get ahead in life, businessmen, even other Zimbabweans like him who are stuck in situation like his. So this Sangoma will take my pubic hair. I really do not know. The more that he talks, the more that I get scared. He tells me about the promises of wealth. He says that we will never have to worry about money again. Whenever we go into town, when we are in a taxi, if we see a very beautiful car, he will say, let us just do this, my love, so that we can be driving or you can be driving a car like this. He keeps on bringing it up every time we talk about the future. I am scared. I am scared of what will happen to him, what will happen to us. I don't know if I am supposed to go through with this. I am pregnant and I cannot stop thinking about the baby. What kind of life are we bringing this child into if we are starting off with something so dark? And he says that it is just a ritual. Last night he asked me when we were lying in bed, and he turned to me and he was like, please babe, I am running out of time. Let us do this. The money, we can try to raise money. I love him. I love him so much, but I don't know if I am supposed to do this. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our admins who helped us with this translation. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. Yo.